So I just wanted to jump on and just have a little bit of a chat about some of my current thoughts and things that I've been coming to conclusions of. And um, the thing that I've really been noticing more and more lately is that most of the problems that we have in the world as a whole, or in relationships, or just in like most areas of life, including on a more global scale, is this need we have to control other people, or control other people's thoughts, or control other people's way of living their life, or control other people's actions. It's basically like, the thought police, and it's not only one person doing it to us, it's that we're just doing it to each other as well all the time, and it creates a lot of conflict, not only between friendships and partners, but it also creates a lot of conflict just generally on a global scale as well. And I really love this idea of radical acceptance, and I've seen it in a video, and it was things that I've been thinking about as well. And it's this idea that it's actually okay to have any opinion you like, and to do anything that you like, as long as it doesn't harm or limit another human being. So obviously, like, going around and murdering people doesn't kind of fall into uh radical acceptance, but it's the idea that you can have any opinion you want, because a lot of the problems that we have in this world is that people just can't handle someone having a different opinion or wanting to do something different with their life, and they feel this need to force them to do what they kind of want them to do, or think what they want them to think, and we have these big like hive minds going on. So for example, and to do this, you have to really manage your own triggers. So, for example, someone says to me, I think women belong in the kitchen. I don't think women should be out at work. You know, this is something that, is personal to me. So it's a good one to talk about rather than ones that people will get really angry about. You can change the meaning to whatever you want. But it's okay for them to say that. But what we have in society now is if someone says that and you're like, you're not allowed that opinion. How dare you have that opinion? How dare you speak? We're just going to block you, cancel you. You're never going to be allowed to earn again. You're never going to have any work again. We're going to make sure you never get a platform because you don't think women should go to work. That's not an evolved society. An evolved society is being able to have these conversations. You can only that's not going to change their way of thinking. Then they're just going to walk away thinking not only do women belong in the kitchen, they're also all freaking crazy as well. What is going to really help in that situation is either having a conversation with them. Oh, why do you think that? Or just accepting that's their thing. You don't have to marry them. You don't even have to be friends with them. And radical tolerance allows you to actually call them an idiot or think they're an idiot. Like, radical acceptance doesn't mean you make a judgment, or you can't think someone's like an idiot for their opinion. It just means that they're allowed their opinion, and you're not going to like cancel them and try and force them to have a different opinion. You're just going to be like, oh, that's not a person I want to associate with. I'm just going to walk away and leave them be. As long as they're not trying to force you into the kitchen, as long as they're not writing laws that you have to stay in the kitchen, or as long as they're not your husband and they're literally abusing you unless you stay in the kitchen and you're free to go, then that is okay for them to have that opinion. There's nothing wrong with having that opinion. And the thing is, they might actually, if you ask them, have some reasons for it. And they'll say, oh, well, now with both parents having to go to work, I just think that that's not as good as when one person is able to stay home. And I think women are the more nurturing. And that's their opinion. And there's going to be some reasons why that opinion could be valid, or certainly in their experience. And then there'll be women out there that would love to stay home and make the meals, make the food, look after the children, and they would love to meet a man like that, perhaps, that would like that role where he goes to work and he brings in all the money and what have you. And that is okay. The thing is that he's entitled to that opinion. I'm entitled to think that he's an idiot for his opinion. I'm entitled to not want to be like that myself, which I don't want to be. Like, that's just not my belief. But it's this idea that we can all have different conflicting beliefs. And as long as we don't try to impose them on another people, force them on another person, or kind of cancel them for having that opinion, or make it so their life is kind of not full because they have an opinion that you don't like, that's where so many of the problems come in. And that is the idea of free speech. And the thing is, a lot of people that argue about free speech couldn't really handle free speech, honestly. I'm just going to turn my iPad off because people keep messaging me, and I don't even know where the volume button is on it. Stop messaging me. But the idea of radical acceptance, yeah, is just basically accepting everything. Like, there's nothing wrong with, even if you think it's the worst opinion that you have ever heard, it's just an opinion. And as an opinion, it's not going to do anything. And this is where it's about managing our triggers. And the thing is, if we can have discussions with people who have opinions that we find absolutely gross, we can actually also gain some understanding, and we can talk to them as an adult, and we can possibly even change their mind or plant a seed, or we could maybe gain a little bit of understanding into why they have that opinion. But if all you do is, when someone gives you an opinion, is sort of like absolutely yell at them, cancel them, try and ruin their business, you know, that's not helpful. It's not going to change anyone's mind. You can't force people into changing their mind. They have to come to that decision through their own journey with God at the end of the day. Like, we all have our own journey with God, and we all have our own little path that helps us wake up and helps us see things differently. You know, you can't force somebody there. You can't like force them. You can only force them to pretend. And then you'll get a very 1984 type situation where everyone's walking around unable to have an opinion, because what you've got to remember is that some opinions that maybe you find intolerable, or maybe some opinions that you find correct and right now, in 20 years' time might suddenly be intolerable. And then you're going to get people 20 years' time that are going to come and find your opinions, because they're all over social media now, and cancel you for something that you said 20 years ago, which at the time seemed like a good opinion to have, and suddenly now is like an intolerable opinion to have. I just think we have to be way more okay with it. We can argue with people, we can debate with people, we can call people an idiot, whatever. Like, I'm not saying it's highly spiritually evolved, but it's okay, you know. It's not, you're not taking away someone else's freedom, as long as you then just walk away and leave them be to have their opinion. You know, we don't have to. Radical acceptance is also the idea that you don't have to hang around with them, you don't have to be friends with them, you don't have to date men that don't have the same beliefs about women and men that you have. Like, you can just avoid them, you can not work for them, you know, and you can create your little spheres with people that have similar opinions if that's what you'd like, or you can continue to mix with these people. So maybe we can all kind of start to understand why we have these opinions. It depends, you know, on the situation. And I'm not saying anything's right or wrong, but it's just accepting that it's okay for them to have an opinion, even if it's absolutely disgusting and distasteful to you, that it's still okay as long as they're not harming you and they're not trying to force you to do something or force you to be something. As long as you have the freedom within your own sphere to do what you want to do and to think what you want to do, that as long as that's not harming another individual or forcing another individual to do something they don't want to do, then that is, to me, what an evolved world looks like. Yes, of course, maybe one day we'll all live in peace and harmony and share source thoughts with our creator. But, you know, until we get there, I think the nearest that we can get is tolerance and acceptance, and not just shutting people down, closing people down, that think differently. I don't think there's anything evolved about that at all. It's this sort of like fake wokeness that, oh, well, you know, my opinion counts, and anyone that doesn't have my opinion is going to be unable to have a career, make any money, or basically have any freedom. You're just the person that you hate. You become the person that you hate. But anyway, I just wanted to pop this video, and I hope everyone is well. And I want to kind of start jumping on a bit more and just randomly blathering a bit. and connecting. So yeah, I hope everybody is good, and I'll be back soon. Bye.